Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's Brian Beamish, the Canadian Rational Investor, CR Investor on Twitter and TradingView. And it's Monday morning here, June 30th, 2014. We're finally through the first tranche of the Silk Road auctions. That being on Friday, and we're all eagerly anticipating and waiting what the final bid results will be. If I understand correctly, they'll be out later on this afternoon, I think 5 o'clock Eastern Time, which is 2 o'clock Pacific, so in about 6 hours or so. Try and keep this down to 5 minutes. Hopefully, Saturday's show wasn't too long and arduous for you to sit and listen to, but I see we had quite a few viewers. So hopefully you're sort of caught up to speed with what's going on in my neck of the woods. Thought it was interesting. I had quite a few requests, just on a side note before we get to the charts, had quite a few requests for me to actually put together a little trader training program to sort of replicate what it is I've learned over my years in the market. And to that end, we created this school for Bitcoin traders, and I've been tweeting away. In fact, I started tweeting yesterday, and it turns out that the first class that I was anticipating doing, and if you want to read up on this, I've posted a nice little PDF document here that summarizes the program in the Twitter feed, so go check that out. But couldn't believe it. Like, it's not even been 24 hours since I posted that notice, and already the first class is basically full, and we're working on filling a second class. So super excited about that. Just can't believe how with the response from you guys. So up and away. I'm very excited about that program, and I think it's really good value for the dollar spent. So anyway, let's get on to the charts, because I'm not supposed to talk on these daily videos for too long. So here we go. Ready? All right, once upon a time, we have a Bitcoin chart here. We'll start with the daily. And as I outlined in the weekend video, I'm going to try and start doing this PAM service. Let's see if I can find the link for you here. And again, I'm taking too much time. I know, I'm sorry. But I'm going to try and get this PAM service going as one of the various ways that you can participate. In essence, we'll create a master account and take these trades off the daily summaries through the master account. And if you want to participate, you can open up a slave account and just follow along. So something I'm really excited about going forward. So to that end, this PAM service is on BTCE, and so as a result, I'm going to switch the daily 5-minute update videos to the BTCE site, just so we're all in sync there. And of course, as I said before, for the site membership, one of the features that we're going to have is for a nominal monthly subscription, you can subscribe to the blog and the RI Live Room. And within the RI Live Room, we'll do all of this same analysis across all of these exchanges. I've got my personal account sitting at Phoenix, and I still watch it closely. Let's see, do I have the Phoenix chart up here? I don't just at the moment, but long and short of it here is for these daily videos, we're going to concentrate on the BTCE. All right, so let's get going on this. Very quickly summarize, big rally last fall, natural correction, healthy cleanup. We got to the point where the Chinese government was screwing its own citizens and forcing them to get out of the market right into the OTE zone. And that's so typical of China. They say if you're not a direct family member of someone over in China, they have absolutely no interest in watching out for your best interests. So big surprise, the Chinese government went and screwed its people by forcing them to liquidate their positions down at the bottom here. And gee whiz, what a surprise, as soon as they did that, the market took off like a rocket. Dead cat bounce, call it what you will. 38.2 was going to be a pretty significant barrier here in the short term, and that's basically exactly what's happened. Once we hit the 38.2, very rarely do I ever see markets just go screaming straight up through the 38.2. They usually have to back off, and we have to do a correction back down against the lows to see whether this bottom is for real or not. In fact, one gentleman that I was working with at Top Step Trader, Ray Burchett, basically a long-time veteran in the market, and he ran a course there that he wanted you to pay up to. But anyway, one of his basic tenets is you have to watch how the market acts around the 38.2 before you make any big decisions. So, it's very interesting as we get to the lower time frames to see how the 38.2 is played in here as well. So long and short of the daily chart is it looks like we have a working bottom here for the time being. We tested 38.2. We're going through consolidation phase. We have put in a nice little double bottom here, and if this is indeed our next leg higher, then you can see how this bull ABCD is basically just projecting us up into the daily OTE short sweet spot. So nothing really out of the ordinary here, just very normal price action, very normal behavior. I suppose, a while ago I had talked about the symmetricality, I don't know whether that's a word or not, of Bitcoin, but you can see how we went down, then back up, then down, then back up, and then down. And what are we going to do right now? So, if we break out through this rather significant resistance line, which just so happens to be right around the 38.2, you can see how this is a massive inverted head and shoulders. And believe it or not, if this price pattern does play itself out, our target has to be from the head to the neckline, and then project that off the neckline. So, our target window, based on how we resolve out of this mess right here, could very realistically be right up into this OTE short zone. Now let's just zoom quickly in on the short term. Very, very interesting how we've got two moving averages here that are really battling with the market. I'm a little concerned that momentum here just isn't anywhere near breaking out, but look at the volume pattern. We're getting a nice rising volume here, and we've got what I call an up thrust underway here on the Willie. So, Willie himself, the moving average has got lots of room to run here. So, if the bull is indeed underway here, you see on the last up thrust, that came off of this consolidation, and Willie didn't get stupidly overbought until way up here. So there is a potential for a nice bull setup run here. So I'm super excited about that. I was tweeting last night about the significance of the breakout through 610 here, which is this high right here, 610, in the fact that we do have a double bottom working. All right, let's go look at the lower time frames, and basically I'm going to have to probably leave the analysis here because I really don't want these videos to go too long. Here's a 4-hour chart, and again, here's that bull ABCD, boom, 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 boom. There's a 815 target way up there. You've heard me talk lots about the fact that if a market can consolidate off the 38.2 and hold those lows, then that is inherently bullish of this market. And I remember a while ago I said, oh yeah, if the market did run up here, and you look back in hindsight and you said, oh, there's the 38.2, nice consolidation off of it, not a big surprise, this is a nice big bull healthy market. So that's sort of the setup in place. Now, what concerns me a bit here, we look at momentum. Willie getting a little bit frothy here on the 4-hour. This latest move to new highs here, you see this is a momentum divergence. Our raw reading here is getting a little bit concerning. And of course, we have this bigger divergence here still playing itself out. I really do like this volume pattern. Very good looking money flow here. You can see nice big chunky green bars on the breakout. The only caveat I would have to all of this is that potentially we might be setting up what's called a bat formation. And if it is a bat, let's get rid of this stuff. The bat basically looks like, first off, we come down from the highs, then we do a 50% retracement, right, which is basically what we've done here. Whoops, let's go like that. Then we come back down, and this should be a fairly significant correction, which it was. And the bat actually runs out of steam at the 88.6, which if we plug this into this fib, let's see what that gives us. Let's just do this one. 0.886. All right, so the bat target would be 654.41. So we have to keep a close eye on how she acts up in here. Very similar to the Gartley setups that I talked about before, we may indeed get a bat failure, and if that's the case, we might have to come down and wash these lows again. So we'll be watching price action real close. You can see how we've rallied up into the OTE short sweet spot. So I could argue that those that are playing this trading range, this entire range from 545 up to 668, they'd be willing to short against this high here for a test of these lows. And if the bat is correct, then they're going to make money. So, you know, a little concerned here on the lower time frame charts. I really don't like the look of momentum right now. This certainly is not a trade location. However, it does have lots and lots of really juicy higher time frame implications based on price action. All right, so you know, here is the bullish. This is the bullish bot that I have been touting about. It came alive. You can see that we started the run here 411 on BTCE, 411.39, ran up to 668. The bullish bot comes alive on a correction between the 33 and 66% zone, so we came into that nicely. Put in this very good looking double bottom. You could argue that this is a cup and handle right inside here, inverted head and shoulders, yada, yada, yada. Here is the bot's long entry, 615.16. Your stop has to be below this 545.53, and there's our target way up there at 824. So this basically represents $3 of reward for $1 of risk taken. While I'm not really a big fan of the lower time frame setups, I think we could probably get a little better trade location. I could fully understand and fully justify the trade here if the bot is in your trading plan and you follow these model levels clearly. Now, just to finish off today, just so you understand how setups work, right? I mean, just because the setup is there, there's no guarantee that it's going to work, and human emotion along the way will try and grind you out of the trade. And I thought, you know, Friday's or Thursday's posts about these various setups that I trade and how they worked out was an excellent testament to that. So, you know, here's the double bottom off a double bottom 50% rule setup. That worked wonderfully. Here's the bearish harmonic pattern setup. That worked wonderfully. In fact, this massive 4-hour bullish bot setup is basically just this bearish bot setup in reverse. And then here's the OTE trade setup. And what I found really interesting about the OTE setup, this last one, was that, you know, while this setup was playing out, and it worked, you know, I mean, here's your long entry right in the OTE zone, nice double bottom off a double bottom, and your target would have been a test of these highs, and gee whiz, this morning, late last night, boom, you got your fill. Way to go. Nice profit. You know, here is the 1-hour bullish ABCD pattern, so I suppose you could have argued that we had a bullish bot set up off of this. But the long and short of it here is that this setup is done. You know, you would have gotten your fill right up in this area, and you'd be sitting in cash right now. With Willie looking a little toppy here, Really don't have a sell signal in volume or the raw momentum reading, but you can see if you combine the raw momentum reading, right, with a nice, healthy Willy pattern here. And of course we had pretty good looking volume pattern here as well. Put them all together and that could justify the trade, the bot setup. But so the point I just wanted to make with this chart in particular is that, here's the setup, right? And you take the trade, and through the trade, I remember late Friday, early Saturday, the market screamed up to this high, and it was like, oh my gosh, I don't know whether to get out or whether to take profits and all that. Well, if you follow predefined setups, you don't have to think and you don't have to stress about this. The setup is you risk against this low and your reward is this high. And, we don't really care whether the setup works or not. I mean, we do. But the long and short of it here is that we have an underlying belief, system that our system is at least 50% accurate. And because the risk reward is more than 2 to 1, on all of these setups, even if half of them are failed, you still make money at the end of the day. In fact, if 2 out of 3 of these setups had failed, you were only 33% accurate, you would have come out scratch, basically break even. The fact of the matter here is that all 3 of these setups worked and you'd just be sitting in huge profits right now. But the point here is that, once the trade's on, you don't have to think about this. Just have this setup, have the predetermined levels, have the orders working at those levels, and just live with the results. It's just as simple as that. So, point of the matter here is I don't know if this bot setup is going to work, but nice 3 to 1 reward to risk ratio there. It is a perfectly justifiable setup, and it's there. It's alive. No ifs, ands, or buts. So the question ultimately here is, does it fit into your trading plan, and do you have the professionalism to take the setup and live with the results? And if it works, wonderful. You make a pile of money. If it doesn't work, well, on to the next trade. Just as simple as that. All right, so that's basically the backdrop of the market right at the moment. Long and short of it here, higher time frames, feeling pretty good about the market. Lower time frames, I think I'd like to see this clean up a little bit before I get a next setup. But having said that, I can justify perfectly off the higher time frames considering the long entry. But you got to have a bit of risk to be able to handle these trades. And I have seen over time that they do like to come down and wash these lows. So I'm certainly not going to say this is guaranteed 100%. But as I've told you time and time again, boys on the floor of their CME, they're more than happy with 55-60% accuracy, just as long as when they're right, they get paid way more than when they're wrong. Just as simple as that. Okay, guys, yeah, I went well over my time limit today, but I really wanted to talk about that. If you have any questions, please feel free to get back to me about the School for Bitcoin Traders. Totally stoked about that, and I'm really excited. And we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. We'll find out what the auction results were. Have yourselves a great day, and all the best, and good luck trading. Bye for now.